Hey guys, story time today. This is the time I almost died. Alright, so I think it was 9. Yeah, it was April. It was about a week and a half before my birthday, and I was turning 10. And now I used to run track, and I was one of the faster runners on my team, so they would always put me in the 400s or 800s. I never got the easy ones, like the 2 or 400s, or the 100. So basically, I had just run the 800, came in second place, but it was a really pollen-filled day, so my mouth was like foaming, and I was like I couldn't breathe, and but I took my inhaler, and everything was fine. So we went to my friend's house in Fort Benning. I live in Georgia, Columbus, Fort Benning. So that's like about 2 hour, 3 hour drive from here. So we went there and we were sleeping over my friend's house with her mom. She lives on Army base, so we were there. And my lungs started. The wasp! My lungs started hurting, so I called my mom, and she wasn't that worried. She was just like, okay, baby, take your breathing treatments. And I was taking the breathing treatments, but they were not doing anything. Like, I was having to take them a lot, and they weren't helping me at all. So I started to take my inhaler when we went out, and I was taking the inhaler literally every 5 or so minutes, and we were at the mall, and I was sitting in the car because I couldn't find the energy to walk inside. And it just started to get worse and worse to the point where even at night, like, I couldn't breathe and I was taking the inhaler. And my friend's brother came in during the night to check on me and bring me tea, but little did they know how much I was struggling to breathe. And so, one night, my mom's friend, she's a nurse in the army, she comes in and she puts that little thing on my finger to check my heart or whatever, and it was like really low. So she took me to the emergency room, and the lady in the emergency room was really like being an asshole because I could not breathe, and she was like, "Oh well, we're gonna need her insurance and da 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 da," and she was like giving us a hard time because it was army base, and for all they know, I could have been a terrorist. But the lady, she another lady came out and she was like, "Take her in the fucking ER, da 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 da." And so the lady, she took me, another lady came and they rushed me into the ER, and they couldn't do that much for me in that hospital. So a helicopter, I lied to you not, a helicopter came and picked me up and flew me to the Atlanta Children's Hospital where my mom, my dad, and everybody else was. So by this time, everybody knew. And my sister was still at my friend's house asleep. She didn't know what happened. Like, they didn't even know I left. So, I mean, actually, I forgot a part. I remember when we were riding to the hospital, I was trying so hard not to go to sleep because I couldn't breathe. And I knew that if I went to sleep, I was not going to wake back up. And as we were walking into the hospital, I passed out. And that's all I can remember from then. My family, they then when I woke up 4 or 5 days later, they then told me that a helicopter had taken me to Atlanta Children's Hospital, which is my city, and that they said that if they were to drive me in an ambulance, I would have died in the ambulance. Now, here I was in the Atlanta hospital, and they had tubes going down my throat because my body could not breathe for itself. My lungs were completely, like, dead. Like, they could not. There was a tube going down my throat. Need I say more? And they told me that I was mumbling in my sleep, like, what's the number? The number is 7. What is the number? I need to know the number. And I was like crying in my sleep, and then I yanked the tube out for breathing, and they had like all these tubes and medicine in me, and I was like losing a lot of weight in the bed. Like, I lost at least, I think, 7 or 8 pounds. Basically a couple days later, I finally woke up, and I was kind of in and out though. Like, I remember waking up for like 2-3 seconds and seeing Shark Tale on the TV, and then going back to like passing out again, and then waking back up. So a couple days later, I finally like woke up, and basically I was okay at that point. But they told my parents while I was still asleep. They told my parents that I might not make it, and that on a scale of 1 to 10, I was a 12, 11 or 12, and that for them not to get their hopes up too much. Asthma is a pretty serious condition. Like, it's where your lungs have problems generating air. And so, I finally got out of the hospital. I have this scar right here. I don't even know if you guys can see that, but this is where the IV was, and I ripped it out, and my skin, no, the IV was here, but this part of my skin was purple, and the skin just flew off. But basically, I got out, and it was the day of my birthday when I got out. So I was in the hospital on my birthday, my 10th birthday. And I remember when I got out the hospital, my sister and my friend, they were back in Atlanta, and they were at my house, and I got to see everyone, and my grandparents sent me a DSI for my birthday. But for a couple months after I got out the hospital, life was pretty tough because I couldn't really do anything for myself. Like, I couldn't write. Like, my hands were shaking. I was out of school for a month or so, a couple weeks. I couldn't really, walk that much. Like, my legs were, really, I was really weak. Like, I didn't have any nutrients. But basically now, how old am I? Oh, 3-4 years later. So I'm 14 in 1 month. Here I am. I'm alive. I'm fine. Everything went well. Thank God I'm still here because, hey, I'm enjoying my life. But yeah, that was a pretty close call to my death. I could have been taken out of here in the snap if that lady had, if my friend's mom hadn't come in and checked my heart. Then I would not be here today filming this video. So basically, guys, that is the time I almost died. And yeah, thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, leave video requests, and yeah, bye.